Hey everyone, welcome back to Code with Poonam. If you're new here, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more coding tutorials. We are on day 4 of our 30-day pattern challenge, and today's pattern is all about printing a right angle triangle. So let's proceed with this challenge and we will move towards our VS Code. If you see in the VS Code, we have here our question and we have your output as well. So what is the question? We have to write a JavaScript function to print a right angle triangle, right? And here is the output which we are supposed to get, okay? Now we will come down and first of all, we will break our question. We will note down the important parts of the question. So what is the important part? That we have to write a JavaScript function. So I will take this and I will put it over here. After that, what is the next important part? That we have to print what? Right angle triangle, correct? And this is the particular output which we are supposed to get it. So I have just mentioned here the same thing, okay? Now we will come to our line number 8 and we will define our function name. So we will keep our function name as what? Print pattern, okay? So let me write it over here with a parenthesis. So this will be our function name, okay? Now, since we have to get this particular output, so we will come down and for that, we are going to write our approach. So I will just write here what? Approach. Okay. So first of all, guys, what we will do, we will create an str variable. So let me write here what? Str variable. Now, why we are creating this variable? Because this variable is going to hold our final output. Okay. So I will just write here what? Final output. That means our final pattern. Okay. This is what it is going to hold. And this variable we are going to initialize with an empty string. So I will write here what? Let str is equal to our double quotes. That means we are initializing with an empty string and this is going to hold our final output. That means our final pattern. Okay. Now what we are going to use here, the next thing, we will be using here our nested loop. Okay. So I will just write here what? Nested loop. Now, what is a nested loop? Loop inside a loop is called as what? Nested loop. Okay. So just let me write here what? Loop inside the loop. Now, here we are going to use what? Two loops. So I will write here what? Two loops. So that means there will be an outer loop and there will be an inner loop. So let me write it over here. Outer loop and inner loop. Okay. This is what I am going to write it over here. Now, many people ask question that how we identified that we have to use your nested loop. Now, see guys, here we have to print some pattern, okay? And there is a repetition here, correct? So, we will have to use here the loops only. So, whenever you have to print a repeated thing or you want to print certain pattern, you can directly choose our nested loop itself and try to write the logic and execute the things, okay? So that is why here also we are going to use our nested loop itself, okay? So I will write here what now? Next, our outer loop. So let me write here outer loop and here I will write what? Our inner loop. Now let us see what these loops are going to do now. So our outer loop is going to control or manage our number of rows. So I will write here what? Control the number of rows, okay? And then if you come down, our inner loop is going to do what? It is going to control or manage our number of columns, okay? So I will just write here what? Number of columns, okay? We will assume this, our outer loop is what? Our I loop. So I will just write here what? Our I loop. And our inner loop will be what? It will be our J loop. So we are just assuming that our inner loop will be our J loop and our outer loop will be what? Our I loop. So our inner loop is going to control what? Our number of columns and our outer loop is going to control what? Our number of rows. Now let us come above and we will see our pattern and we will analyze our I loop, our J loop, where it is going to start, where it is going to end, how many number of columns we have, how many rows we have. All this we are going to identify from our pattern so that we can easily write our code, okay? So we will take this pattern and we are going to put it over here now, okay? Now, if you see our line number 18 is nothing but our first row, our line number 19 is second row, our line number 20 is third row, and our line number 21 is nothing but our 4 rows. So in total, we have here how many rows? 4 rows, right? So I will just write here what? 1. Then we will come down, we will write here as 2, then we will write here as 3, and then we will write here as what? 4. So total 4 rows we have here. And since we have assumed that our rows will be what? Our I loop. So I am just going to put here what? Our I loop over here. So just let me put it over here. So this will be our I loop. Here also I'll put, here also I'll put, and here also. Now, since we've understood our I loop, okay, now we will come here and we will understand our J loop also, that how many columns are there with respect to our J loop. So if we see, this is our first column, right? So for that, I will write here 1. Now, if you see, this is our second column, correct? So I will write here 2. Then if you see, this is our third column, right? So I will write here 3. Then if you see the last one where only 1 star is printed, this is our fourth column, correct? So I will write here what? 4. So how many columns we have? We have 4 columns, right? And this is nothing but our J loop. So I will just put here what? Our J loop. So we have easily identified how many columns are there, how many rows are there, right? From this particular pattern. Now let us come down and we will identify what will be the start and end point for both the loops. That means for our J loop and for our I loop. So let me write here our I loop, okay, first, and then I will write here what? Our J loop, okay. And also we are going to write here what? Start, okay. And then I will write here our end also, because we need to identify this, correct, for running the loop and for terminating the loop also. So I will write here start and we will write here what? End also. Correct. Now let us come above and let us see the start point for our I loop now. Okay. So I'll just put here hyphen. Okay. Now if you see, we are starting our I loop at 1, right? And where it is going to end? It is going to end at 4. It is very easy understanding because our I loop is going to control our number of rows, right? And that is where we will just put here what? Start will be 1 and our end will be what? 4, correct? Because it is the outer loop, right? So it is going to handle our total iteration for the rows, correct? And here we are going to put n is equal to 4 because we will assume that our n value is nothing but 4. So that is what we are going to use it, okay? So this is what I am writing it over here. Now here also we will have to see now for the J loop what will be the start point and end point, okay? Now let us come here and see. Now at the first here, how many stars are printed? Only 1 star, correct? At the second, 2 star. At third, 3 star. And at fourth, 4 star, right? Why I'm saying this? Because our J loop will be responsible for our printing, right? So I will write here, this will be responsible for printing our star, or we can say printing our pattern also. So that is what I am writing it here. So when our I loop is running for the first time, how many times the star is printed? Only 1 star, right? So if you see, our loop is going to start at 1, okay? So it should end at I value, correct? So here our J loop will start at 1 and it is going to end at where? It will end at I value only. So I will write here end at I, because if our I is 1, we are starting our J loop at 1. So 1 and 1, only 1 star will be printed, right? Then when I is 2, when our loop is starting from 1 and our I is ending at 2, so 1 and 2, 2 star will be printed. Similarly for 3 and similarly for 4. So that is where our J loop will start at 1 and it is going to end at our I loop. That is where I am putting here I. That means our I value, it is going to end. So therefore, this is the final start and end for our J loop, okay? So if I have to write here our final loop condition, how we are going to write? So we will write here what? I is equal to 1. I should be less than or is equal to n, because we are putting this 4 inside our n, correct? And then I plus plus. So this will be our I loop, okay? Now if you put your J loop, what it will be? J will start at 1 definitely. But it it is going to end at our I. So j should be less than or is equal to our I and then j plus plus. Okay. So this we are going to see now in our working also how it is going to be done. Okay. Now let us come down and first of all we will write our loop. Okay. And then we will see the working. So let us come down and we will write our for loop. So I will write here what for. Okay. And inside this, what we will have, let I is equal to 1 first, then I should be less than or is equal to n because n will be 4, right? And I plus plus I am going to write. Then flower braces I will put here. And inside that, we are going to write here our inner loop, that is our j loop. So I will write here what for. And then inside this, we are going to write here what let j is equal to 1 and j is going to end at where our I. So less than or is equal to I and then j plus plus. Okay, this is what will be our loop conditions. Okay, now inside this I told you, right, inside our j loop we are going to print our final star, or we can say our final pattern. So I will take this and I am going to put it over here. Okay. Now how we are going to print it? We will take the help of the variable which we have created, that is nothing but our str. So we are going to concatenate inside this. So we will come here and what we are going to write? We will write here str plus is equal to double quotes and our star. Okay. So it is going to run and it is going to print. Okay. This working I'll show you right now itself. Okay. And after this, what we are going to do in the same string, since we want to bring it to the next line after each iteration, we are going to put here our next line also. So how that is to be written? I will write here what str plus is equal to double quotes backward slash n. Backward slash n means it will take to our next line. And then finally, we will print here our str. That means here we are going to get our final pattern. That is our final output we are going to get when we are going to print our str. Okay. That is what we are going to do. Now let us come down and we will see the working of our loop. Whatever we have written, let us understand line by line now here. So I will write here what working. Okay. We will take this I is equal to 1, I is less than or is equal to n and I plus plus. Okay. And we are just going to put it over here and we are going to substitute the values. Okay. So I is equal to 1 and I is equal to 1. So here we will put 1. What is the value of n? It is 4. So if you test the condition, I is less than 4, right? So therefore we are going to get here true and we are going to come down and we are going to write our j loop also now, because since the condition is true, it is going to go inside, right? So let us take this and we are just going to put it over here. Okay. Now if you see, our j value is what now? 1 and j is less than or is equal to I, correct? So we will substitute here 1 and our I value is also 1. So if you test the condition, it is not less than 1, but 1 is equal to 1, right? So therefore, we are going to get here what? True, and we are going to print our 1 star. As per the logic we have written, we are going to concatenate 1 star inside our str variable, right? So that is what we have done now. After that, what will happen? Our j plus plus, right? So that means j value has to increase, correct? So we will write here what? Our j is equal to 2, right? So we will write here 2 and what is our I value? It is still 1, correct? So therefore, if you now test the condition, it is going to fail. So I will write here what? False. And therefore, this entire j loop is going to now terminate, okay? And in our final str variable, we will have what? Only our 1 star. Okay. So therefore, it will be what? Str is equal to printing 1 star in our first execution of our j loop. Okay. After that, what will happen? It is going to go to our next line. So we will take this also to our next line and we will increment our I value because it is going to increment I plus plus. So now it will be I is equal to 2, right? So I will take this and I'm just going to put here. So I is equal to 2 and 2 is less than or is equal to 4. Yes, the condition is again true. So now it is going to execute it again, correct? So we will take this j loop here and we are going to put it it over here. Now, if you see now here, what is our j value? It is 1. So we will write here what? 1. What is our I value? It is 2. So therefore, now start testing the condition here. So if you see, it is true. 1 is less than 2, right? So therefore, we will write here what? True, correct? And then here 1 star will be printed, okay? Now, after that, what will happen? Our j value is going to increment. So, j value will become 2, right? So, now we will take this and we are just going to put it here one more time, okay? So, I'll just put it here. So, j is 2. So, we will write here what? 2 is less than or is equal to 2. It is equal to 2, right? So, therefore, it is true. So, we have written here t. And then we are going to print one more star, correct? So, then after that, what will happen? J value is again going to increase. So it will become what? J is equal to 3, right? So I will write here what? J is equal to 3. Now test the condition. 3 is less than or is equal to 2? No. It is neither less, it is neither equal. So therefore, here we will get false, and here our J loop is going to finally terminate. And in the second execution, what we are going to get in our str variable store, it will store our 2 star. Okay, that is what is our output if you see. So in the first execution, 1 star, after that 2 star. So we are on a right track. Okay. Now, after that, what will happen? It is going to go to the next line, right? So I will also go to our next line. Now our I value will be what? 3, because it is going to increment, correct? So I will write here what? I is equal to 3, correct? And then 3 is less than or is equal to 4. Still, if you test the condition, it is true, right? Because 3 is less than 4, correct? Now we are going to take our J loop again, because it is going to go inside and it is going to execute it. So we will take this and we are just going to substitute the values here, right? Now, if you see J is equal to 1, so I will write here what? 1. What is our I value? It is nothing but 3. So 1 is less than 3, right? So therefore, it will be true, correct? And then again, it is going to print what? One more star, correct? Now, after that, what will happen? Our J value is going to increase. So I will take this and I am going to just put it here, okay? Now, let us see. J is going to be what? 2 now after the increment. So 2 is less than or is equal to 3. It is again true, right? If you test the condition. So therefore, here one more star will be printed, correct? After that, since the condition is true, we are going to increment it and test it again, right? So we are going to put here what? J is equal to 3. So 3 is less than or is equal to 3. It is again true, because it is equal to 3. So it is going to print here. After that, what will happen? Again, it is going to increment. J will become what? 4, right? So I will write here 4. Now, if you check the condition, 4 is less than or is equal to 3. It is going to be what? It is going to be false, right? Because 4 is greater, it is not less. So therefore, I will write here what? False. And now this is going to terminate. So our J loop will terminate. So I will write here what? Terminate. And in our str variable, it is going to hold what now? 3 stars, okay? That is our third time J loop execution we are going to get, okay? After that, what will happen? Again, our I loop is going to increment, right? So we will get here what? I is equal to 4, right? So we will just take this and we are just going to put it over here. I is equal to 4. Then 4 is less than or is equal to 4. Still the condition is true, because 4 is equal to 4, right? And therefore, it is going to go inside and execute our J loop. So let us take it from here, our J loop condition, okay? So I will take this and we are just going to put it here one more time, okay? Now, if you see here, J is equal to 1, because J is going to start at 1. So I will put here what? J value as 1. What is our I value now? It is nothing but 4, right? So if you test 1 is less than or is equal to 4, it is true again. Therefore, we are going to get here what? One more star. So that is what I am going to write it. After that, what will happen? J value is again going to increase. So let us take this and we are just going to put it over here. So J value is 2, right? So 2 is less than 4. If you test the condition, again it is true, and again one more star will be printed. Now one more time our J value is going to increase. it will become 3 here now, and we are going to write 3 is less than or is equal to 4. If you test the condition, again it is true, and again it is going to print what? One more star. Now after that, what will happen? Again increment will happen, j will become 4, right? Now test the condition, 4 is equal to 4. The condition is still true. It is not less, but it is true, right? So it is going to print one more time. After that, what will happen? Again, j value is going to increase because plus plus we have written. So j will become what? 5, right? So I will write here what? 5, correct? But now here it will be 5 is less than or is equal to 4. It is false, right? Because 5 is not less, it is greater. Now here the condition will fail, and therefore our entire loop is going to terminate now, okay? And then we are going to get here inside our str what? We are going to get str is equal to, we will get here what? 4 star. So that is what we are going to get in this execution. After that, we know it is I plus plus. So it is going to increment one more time. Okay, so we will come down and we will just put here what? Now I will become 5, okay? And now if you test the condition, 5 is less than or is equal to 4, it is going to fail, right? So therefore, the I loop is going to terminate now here itself. And since it is going to terminate, our both the loop will terminate here itself. So it will be end of our both the loop. So I will just write here end of our both loop. That means termination of our both loop. So now if you see in the first time 1 star, second time 2 star, third time 3 star, and the fourth time it is 4 star. That is what was needed here. So now if you see, we have successfully achieved this, right, pattern with the help of our working. We have understood also. Now let us come down and we are going to write our function. So before that, we will just open our terminal to our right, okay? And now we will come here and we will start writing our function, okay? So we will write here what? Function print pattern, okay? And we are going to quickly invoke it. So I will write here what? Print pattern, and to that we are going to pass here 4 as a value, okay? And here we will pass here n, and we are going to write here what? Console.log of n, and now we are going to test it that whatever we are passing here, is it able to receive properly or not? So we will write here what? Node 04 pattern.js, and if you see, we are getting here 4. That means whatever we have done till now, it is properly executed, okay? Now what we will do, we are going to create our str variable. So I will write here what? Let str is equal to double quotes, okay? So this is going to hold our final output, right? Now we will write our nested loops. So first I will write our I loop. So let I is equal to 1. I is less than or is equal to n, and I plus plus, correct? Now let us come inside and we are going to write our j loop. So I will write here for let j is going to start at what? 1, and where it is going to end, don't forget, it is going to end at our I itself. So j should be less than or is equal to I, and then j plus plus, okay? Then flower braces. Now we will just console here our I and j value. Let us see what do we get, okay? So I will write here I, okay? And I'll put here comma, and we will write here I. After that, we will just put here j, and we will put here our j. Let us see what are the values we are getting, okay? Now I'll just clear it up and I'll write here what? Node 04 pattern.js. Now you can see here j and I value is getting printed properly. If you see here 1 time, here 2 times, here 3 times, and here 4 times. That means we are going to execute this properly. That means when I is 1, j is going to run 1 time only. When I is 2, j is going to run 2 times. When I is 3, it is going to run 3 times. When I is 4, j will be running 4 times. That is what we have seen here also, right? Now, we will come here and we are just going to comment this, and we are going to concatenate inside our str variable, okay? So I will write here what? Str plus is equal to our star we will print directly, okay? Now, outside this loop, we are just going to console our str and see what do we get, okay? So I will write here str like this, and we are going to clear our terminal now, and we will write here what node 04 pattern.js. You can see we are getting the output, but we are not getting the exact output. Why? Because it is not going to the next line, so we can't understand what kind of pattern it is getting printed, right? So we will come here and we are going to write here what str plus is equal to double quotes backward slash and n. This is going to take it to our next line, right? Now let us come here and let us rerun it node 04 pattern.js, right? So if you see, we are getting our pattern, we are getting, but here one extra line also, because it is taking cursor to the next line. So we will come here and we are going to use our trim method, okay? So I will write here what trim. And now let us see one more time the execution. So I will write here what node 04 pattern.js. Now if you see, it is not taking to the next line at the end because we have trimmed it here, right? Trimming means whatever the additional spaces before and after your string is starting, it is going to remove that. So that is what our trim method is doing it, okay? Now let us just comment our line number 54. And we will come here and we are just going to clear the terminal and we will rerun it node 04 pattern.js. And if you see, now we are getting our exact output, right? Here you can pass any other value and you can get it with respect to that. That is why we are doing it with respect to the function, okay? Now let us have a quick recap of this particular question. So let us come above here and let us read out the question. We have to write a JavaScript function to print a right angle triangle, correct? And this is our final output which we are supposed to get. At line number 8 and 9, we wrote our JavaScript function, correct? And we defined the function name as what? Print pattern. And also we wrote here that we have to print a right angle triangle. So this was nothing but our important part of this particular question, correct? Then to achieve this particular output, we wrote our approach, right? So we have written here what? Create a str variable, right? So we are going to create an str variable which is going to initialize with an empty string and it is going to hold our final output pattern, right? Then we understood that here there is a need of a nested loop, right? What is a nested loop? Loop inside a loop. And here we are going to use two loops. So our outer loop will be what? I loop, and our inner loop will be what? J loop. So our outer loop is going to control the number of rows and our inner loop is going to control the number of columns, right? Then we came down and we identified how many rows we have, how many columns we have, right? And then we came down and we also identified what will be the start point, what will be the end point of each loop, right? So if you see here, our I loop is going to start at 1 and it is going to end at 4, correct? Our J loop is going to start at 1 and it is going to end at I, correct? Then we came down and we wrote here our entire logic, right? And we understood the working of it, what we have written here, right? So we understood thoroughly the working line by line, how it is going to execute, where it is going to terminate, right? And how many star it is going to print after each execution, correct? Then we understood that when I will become 5, our I loop is going to terminate and therefore it will be the end of our both the loops. And finally, we are going to print our str variable. That means our pattern, right? Then we came down and we wrote our function that is nothing but our print pattern, right? And here we were passing n as a parameter, right? And we consoled here n to test whether our function is running properly or not. Then we came here and we wrote here what? Let str is equal to empty string because we have to initialize this. Then we wrote here our for loop, right? So where inside this here it is concatenating, right, to our str variable, our start. After each execution, it is going to add one star to our str till the condition is not failing, right? And once this loop execution is done, it is going to take our cursor to the next line and then again our execution is going to stop, right? Unless and until our I loop is going to terminate. And after that, it is going to print our str variable. So when we are printing our str variable, it was taking a cursor one more time down. So to remove that, we have taken here what? Our trim method, right? So by using this trim method, the additional space after that, it was removed and we got our final output, right? Then at line number 66, what we have done, we have just invoked it by passing 4. Here we can pass any number to it, okay? And we are going to get our desired output. So let us come here and let us test it out. So we will write here what? Let us clear it up first and we will write here what? Node 04 pattern.js, and if you see, we are going to get our exact output itself. So that is what we have done, and we have got our actual output. So what I want is now, guys, you can try experimenting this with our different values of n, and let me know your results in the comment. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more programming tutorials, and I will see you in the next one. Till then, keep coding, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you so much, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.